Enterprise Friday on Enterprise Television. I am Kendi Bodering.
And I am Henry Igwebiking.
Yes, thank God it's Friday and we are so glad to have you on the show today. We will kick off with today's newspaper review before diving into the main conversation of the day. Trust me, you don't want to miss a moment with us. You can join the conversation by dropping your comments, liking, and following us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV 7. So joining us to share the matters at hand is Barrister Evans Ofeli. He's a barrister and also a public affairs analyst. You're always welcome, sir.
Thank you so very much, Barrister. And he joins us from Toronto in Canada. Thank you so very much for your time.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Yes, thank
Good morning.
you. So let's kickstart today, interestingly, with all that we have from our newspapers and our main conversation also for today. But just before getting into our main conversation, let's take a look at the trendiest events happening in Nigeria, and particularly is in Owerri, in Imo State, where Hope Uzodinma, the executive governor of Imo State, held Imo Economic Summit and invited the big men. Amongst them is former UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson, who came, eulogized the president, of course, praised Nigeria, with so many other things he said. And I'd love us to take a listen, and when we come back, let's do some talking.
Success, investment makes opportunity. IMO. In my opinion, IMO. In my opinion, the Imo State has an absolutely fantastic future. And I think that Nigeria's great days lie ahead of it. The Imo State's great days lie ahead of it. And I think the great days of the historic friendship, partnership, love affair between Britain and Nigeria also lie ahead of us.
We have Boris Johnson, former UK Prime Minister. Barrister, I know you've watched this, it's gone viral now, but for some of us living in Nigeria, what Boris Johnson said is looking a little bit alien to us. He said that Imo State has a fantastic future, that we've exported Keffi to UK and he is here in Nigeria, and so many other things. I'd love you to speak to me. Is this another Mike Arnold as brought in by Reno Mokri, but this time brought in by Hope Uzodinma to Nigeria? Speak to us.
No. Imo State truly have a bright future. This is how we should sound as Nigerians. I mean, this is how we should sound. We should not say because our prospect is largely bedeviled by insurgency and a weak governance from the center and to the sub-regions, we should not then give up hope. I mean, what Boris Johnson said is nothing but the truth. It couldn't have been that we don't have a future. It couldn't have been that Imo State does not have a future or Nigeria does not have a future. That's not the truth. You see, what he came to do is to inspire confidence. That is leadership. And it is expected that those who brought him and those who were out there, former governors and present governors, and even the president of the country should learn something from Boris Johnson. This is how Caucasians operate. Even under serious conditions of hardship, war, and so many issues going on, they never give up. Have you seen an American talk about America before? If you hear an American talk about America, you would think that after heaven is that place, or that place is heaven itself. Even when sometimes they have gone battles, there are so many problems. The people die. If they tell you the amount of people that die in New York every day, you will not believe, or you won't see it in the news in the way people package and they market their country. So this is exactly how we should sound as Nigerians, okay? That despite all our, all our setbacks, Nigeria is a great country. Imo State have a great future. That is the truth by motivation. That aside, I like when he got into the issue of export. He talked about how we export oil and gas, to them, and how they too export whiskey, pharmaceuticals, financial, whatever packages and all that, how they export that to Nigeria. And finally, I finally went further to say that we exported Keffi, but not to them. That is a catch. Yes, that is a catch because Keffi have always belittled Nigeria. She has always made Nigeria look like a waste bin in the eyes of the international community. She has always done that. And one thing she failed to understand is that you cannot erase your ancestry, no matter how stubborn you are, or whether you were born in the UK in 1980, then came back to Nigeria, and then went back to the UK at the age of 16. That is the reason why you think Nigeria is nothing to write home about, okay? That you had a bad experience in Nigeria does not mean you carry it into politics, carry it into your history, carry it into your ancestry and the rest of that. It's a lesson, okay? But Johnson just made it clear that Keffi Badeno is a Nigerian. And you know, I think sometime in July, she said that she cannot identify as a Nigerian, that she's a woman, that she cannot transfer the Nigerian citizenship to her children. She failed there. She got it wrong, but she knows nothing about the Nigerian Constitution. The Nigerian Constitution in section 25, subsection 1C, says if neither parent is a Nigerian, the child is a Nigerian. So by default, by our Constitution, by the formation of our Constitution, her children will remain Nigerian. Their children will remain Nigerian, and her great-grandchildren will also remain Nigerian by the import of our Constitution. You know, you cannot tell the world and tell humanity that God made a mistake. You can't do that. In the face of challenges, you don't betray your country. You embrace the challenges and you look up to the future. That's what Boris Johnson is saying. It's a critical lesson to humanity, not just Nigeria. Okay? That this is, we exported her actually. You understand? We exported her there. And thank God, one person is grateful. A former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom is grateful that we exported her there. And the only way she can emerge, the only way she can cling on to that position she's looking up to, is to embrace her Nigerianness and the uniqueness of it. Because the whole world has embraced it except her.
Definitely.
And it's unfortunate that she has failed to understand really where the world is going to. The world is going the Nigerian way. You know, globally, from art to music to science to IT to everything. And she should be grateful for that. She should be grateful for that. We should be the one to strip out that Nigerianness, not her stripping herself of the Nigerianness. So I commend Boris Johnson for making that remark and emphasizing and stressing on that very powerful Nigerian export. Keffi Badeno is Nigerian export to the UK.
All right.
That is it. That is sealed.
Okay, thank you. Also, in a statement, you know, during his speech, that's Boris Johnson, he said something, and he said, okay, let me quote in quotes, "I am perfectly safe in Nigeria." So the question is, what factors, like what could have prompted him to have said that? What factors might have influenced Boris Johnson's confidence in Nigeria's security during his visit?
When we know it is truly not.
Well, yeah, see, you talk from your experience. Okay. People talk from their experience. Those who say they are not safe in Nigeria are speaking from experience. And truly they are not, because they take bus. And when they get to somewhere in Kogi, the bus is hijacked and everybody is kidnapped. Yeah. That's one experience. Nigeria is not a single story. There's another story. Boris Johnson flies from maybe Gatwick or Heathrow Airport, lands in Abuja or Lagos, you know, takes a private jet. Of course, they're not going to take him through the road.
Yes.
Take a private jet, take him from Abuja or Lagos straight to Imo State, and he lands in the airport. And the governor's convoy, with the governor himself, welcomes him and pick him direct. The governor's convoy
VIP.
Cannot be
Yes.
invaded. The governor's convoy cannot be invaded by the soldiers and succeed because of the number of security agencies that will follow. Okay?
Yes.
As VIP, and they take him straight to the biggest 5-star hotel in Imo State. And then from there, the governor's convoy takes him down to the event. You understand? That's someone that is perfectly safe. It's perfectly safe. That's the truth. That may not be the story.
Hypocrite, you are being
He's trying to be practical. Vice is trying to be practical in his movements.
Play the devil's advocate.
Yes.
That may not be the story of everyone. That's not the story of everyone, truly. Okay, but he's speaking from his experience. But you and I know that we have been surrounded by insurgents. We are practically living at the mercy of insurgents because the government is not doing enough to, handle the issue as it should. Okay, but as to whether he's safe or not, he's perfectly safe according to him, and that's how I feel about him too.
Yeah.
There. And I truly do hope that Kemi would listen to that call. Yeah. And I do not know if she would agree or not. But of course, she doesn't have a choice. But of course, she had always refuted.
She's already trying to block her children away from Nigerian citizenship.
Yeah.
But the Nigerian Constitution caught her and reversed that in section 25, sub 1C. So I mean, even her children's children will be Nigerian. She cannot erase her ancestry.
Yes. Definitely, of course, knowing that both parents are even Nigerian. So let's get to the Vanguard newspaper this morning. We have the big story: we will defeat terror, restore order and peace, and that's coming from the new Defense Minister, Christopher Musa. Okay,
so on the top strip we have banks insurance contribution to economy falls 15% to 1.51 trillion naira.
And also still around what we had talking about when we started at Imo Economic Summit, Ndibo, most significant stakeholders in the Nigeria project, and that's coming from Tinubu, as made known by Shetima.
Okay, we also have President nominates Ibaz Zambazu, 63 others as ambassadors.
And also we have appeal court affirms judgment barring VIO from seizing vehicle imposing fines. Barrister, this is your catchment area and I'd love you to help us fleshing that out. Of course, the VIO are about to appeal against that, but speak to us. When that is known or made known by the appeal court, do you think the VIO would listen and respect the orders of the court at this point?
Why wouldn't they listen and respect the order of the court? They can only intimidate those who are not aware of their position in the scheme of things. Their responsibility actually is restricted to the healthiness or otherwise of a vehicle. You understand? It's not even the safety. Road safety take care of issue of safety, issue of seat belt. You have to build a seat belt. Issues like you need to have a fire extinguisher. You need to have so many other things. You understand? But the VIO's responsibility has to do with the safety of the car itself, the worthiness of the car itself. Okay, that's where their responsibility starts and ends. They are not supposed to impound vehicles or extort money from people and do all sorts. Okay, their responsibility is defined by law, and the courts have been making pronouncements as to the extant law that brought them into existence and where their power starts and ends. You know, in Nigeria, there's a lot of confusion with all these law enforcement agencies. Many do not even know where their power starts and ends or their objective. Okay, you know, you find them going outside it. Not too long ago, the road safety also have said that the federal government should allow them to carry rifles. You ask yourself, what do you want to do with rifle? Are they a security outfit or whatsoever? What are they exactly? So you see that confusion of not knowing where their responsibility starts and ends. And that's why in many countries, they don't proliferate those agencies. What they do is that the police handles everything and they departmentalize the police to handle all those issues. So when you see a police dressed in a particular way, you know this one is of this department, and they should take but the Nigerian case is not like that. In the Nigerian case, you have different institutions, and many of them are working at cross purposes because of lack of purpose and lack of understanding of function and objectives. So now the court is making it very clear that this is where your responsibility starts and ends, and you shouldn't go beyond it. And I think it's a good time for us to witness this, to You lay off all the confusion that we have seen over time on this issue.
All right.
Okay, thank you. So let's just move to another story, still on the Vanguard.
Yeah.
So we have President nominate Ibas, Zambazu, 63 others as ambassadors. So, Barrister, we've seen that the President has nominated 65 ambassadorial nominees. So the question here is, how will this appointment shape Nigeria's foreign relations? Do you think these people would really do, these ambassadors will really shaping the foreign relations?
Yeah, it will largely. Not every person on that list is has been adjudged as incompetent, even though so many of them do not deserve to be on that list, to say the least. The former INEC boss is on that list. What is he doing on that list? He just ended his tenure just ended. He should, for me, they should have allowed him to go and reflect on the elections he has conducted. The elections have brought in controversial leadership, and perhaps let him bruise on it, or maybe write a book or whatsoever, I don't know. But to now hurriedly appoint him again, then Ibas, who was used as the tool for state of emergency in Rivers State, has also found his way on that list. This is a man that almost was of the view that he should not be probed. I think he even went to court to ask that he should not be probed and all that. When they wanted to probe him and all that, that's spent so much money that he could not account for in the River State while he was there 6 months as the administrator. He's now on the list, and so many other persons. So you begin to ask yourself, what exactly is going on? Why we have the career ambassadors, the diplomats, the ones who have considerable experience, why that is commendable. For the other ones, the non-career ambassadors, those ones who got into that list by loyalty or favor or the rest of that, many of them don't deserve to be on that. The likes of Okezek Bazu, for example. What is he doing on that list exactly? You understand? It is a man that was a governor for 8 years and could not lift a block. Could not lift a block in Abia State. The state was almost collapsing under him. He talked about a scheme that is set up some time ago that in Abia State that time, a pregnant woman will get 500 naira when they give birth, and the rest of that. Those are the kind of persons that will go and much more than that, a diplomat or a would-be diplomat should have good communication skills. So the people on that list, the likes of Okezekwazi, do not have such kind of communication skill that warrants for such kind of assignments. Okay. You require a very polished, exposed person who can deliver and all that, who can represent Nigeria in all ramifications, the country on that reference. So, when the president has made his choice, the National Assembly will do the rest. Some of the things I'm saying here is what the National Assembly ought to do, the oversight. Yeah. Not all of them will pass the test anyway, I know that. But it's on record that the president appointed them.
All right. Hysterically, lots of people would wonder why Joe Ibukwe is not on that list. Yul Edochie, who said that, relax, Tinubu will fix Nigeria. Because as at the time, he thought that possibly his name might be amongst those, but of course it's not. So lots of issues there. But let's get to other matters of security, Barrister. We will defeat terror, restore order and peace, the defense minister. What's your take on the defense minister, Christopher Musa, taking over? And do you think he would stand by what he said and ensure that lasting peace comes to Nigeria?
People like that knows the problem. People like that know the problem rather. He's been in the eye of the storm for a long time. He knows exactly where the problem is coming from and what to do to exterminate the problem. But then the question is, will he do it, or will he be allowed to do it? Is he ready to rock the boat or to ruffle feathers? There are a powerful network that sponsors these insurgents, okay, and the bandits. Will he be ready to ruffle feathers with those powers that be and to restore Nigeria? Are we ready to amplify the Nigerian cause over any other primordial or sectorial interests? That is what it is. Not like they don't know where the thing is. Not like it's the the political will to deliver Nigeria. That's where the problem is. The kind of will that the Jirika put forth, okay, and send Boko Haram to exile. For 8 months, he dealt with them, killed people he was asked not to kill in their mix. Even though he got into trouble as a result of it, but he did his best. Is this man ready to do that? Will he be ready to take Nigerians' interest and put it far above every other sectorial, primordial interest? That's the question. If he's going to do that, then he's in a good place. It's a good hand to work with. It's a good hand to work with. But if he's going to pander towards those interests and then fail in his responsibility, that would be fatal for Nigeria. These people know what to do.
All right. So we hope that Christopher Musa would do the good job of fixing Nigeria, since he understands the security architecture and the terrain better than anyone else. But just before we leave for this segment, Barrister, I'd love you to take on this story, and it's on the Guardian newspaper this morning. You behave more like a political candidate than a president. ADC tells President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Barrister, did you see that number of cars already painted and branded with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's picture for 2027 already?
Yes.
Did you see it?
I saw it.
Yes. So which means our president is already gearing up for 2027, despite the issues that we have that he has not resolved, or many more he has even created as a result of his playing politics. So do you buy what ADC is saying, that he is behaving more like a candidate rather than becoming the president that he has allowed himself be?
He's a candidate. That's the truth. Because you see what they are saying, I've said this over and over again. Tinubu cannot govern. That's not his area. And it's unfortunate. He cannot govern anybody. What he knows how to do is politics. That's his area. This is a man that orchestrated the strategy for the first time that broke incumbency in Nigeria in 2015. Plots a political strategy that took Jonathan down. Okay? Before that time, incumbency has never been broken in Nigeria. You understand? That's his area, politics. But you're not asking him to govern. You're wasting your time. That's why you'll never see him anywhere close to governance. This thing you are talking about, his posters, the branded vehicles, started since last year. Since last year. Just a few weeks after his inauguration as a president, he started campaigning for 2027. Because that is what he understands, that's what he knows how to do. And today, we are seeing branded vehicles, we are seeing posters, we are seeing everything. There are persons who are even telling us that Tinubu has already won the 2027 election. And the question is, the one they said he won in 2023, has he delivered? Has he been able to put Nigeria in order, in place? Because he inherited it from a man who does not even know his left from his right. Buhari, who took Nigeria 200 years backward. He inherited Nigeria, and he is not able to put a block on the future of Nigeria and its forward movement. So you can see what the dilemma is. So the ADC, they are not wrong. to say that it's acting like a candidate. It's acting like a candidate, really, because what candidates do now, all of them are scheming now. People are scheming, looking for how to get 2027. And that has been the Nigerian political scene in the last 10 to 15 years. It has always been about the next election. The politician is thinking about the next election, not the next generation. Okay, and that's a problem we're facing. And the ADC aptly captured it. It's acting like a candidate, which is what he is really, than any other thing. Because all aspirants now are all moving towards that candidacy. Because you are aspirant until you win your primaries. So you win your primaries, you become a candidate of that political party. And then before you emerge, leadership. So that's exactly what it's doing. They are right.
All right, that's a textbook example of confusing authority for competence. And that's what President Bola Tinubu has playing out there. But of course, just to let you know that Barrister would still be here to take us on our main conversation for today. That's when we return. Nnamdi Kanu demands urgent transfer from Sokoto, a prison. And the beat is still Enterprise Friday.
We'll be right back.